And you're right, one fish. I am going to start talking soon. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you all on board. It's a lovely day here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And I'm your host, DrFox2000. Welcome, everyone, to VolcanoX live stream. And good to have you on board here today. And let's get rolling at things. Of course, we are using canned lava again. This is back from August 4th. So there you go. Colin says live for every night since forever. What? It's a Lavely MC. Thanks. And Sharon Stewart says, I can hear you, Dr. Fox. All good, excellent. So that is actually what we want. We want everyone to be able to hear me. So all good, all the way through. Anyway, let's start out with first. I'll say hi to the moderators, then we'll hit the highlights, and then we're going to say hi to everyone. So welcome to Arizona Snowman, Piggy, C&D Boy, and possibly Gary, 24/7 Live, VZ Skies, as well as Joseph Fields, Texas, as he calls himself now, and also Lucas Snow, and there may be a few others in the background as well. We'll see what happens. So I'm glad to have the moderators on board. All good. And let's see, what's happening in the news? Well, we haven't got any new eruptions anywhere, so that's kind of takes things out. And that is kind of what we are looking at. I don't know if that's, well, it's not a good thing, but in a way it is, but in a way it isn't, right? I want to see more lava. Anyway. Interesting stuff going on. Of course, everybody is talking about the big storm, and that is the one Hurricane Ian, which is heading towards our wonderful Florida, and now that it has passed over our good old Cuba there, and heading in that general direction. So just to kind of give you a little bit of an update on that real quick, I'll look at the weather map. You see where it is, sitting right there. Some of the winds, that are over, I've measured and looked in here, over 126 kilometers per hour. So this thing is definitely whipping along. And again, I'm not going to try to find out exactly where it's going to hit, but I'm guessing somewhere between Tampa and Cape Coral is where it's going to really make its landfall. But because of the location and this being the nasty side of the storm, it will basically affect all of Florida as it moves across. So, or at least the better portion of it. I'm not so sure about over here. These guys might be fairly safe, but definitely the rest of the area here is going to get hit. So if you are in Florida, please make sure that you are ready for this thing, and that you've battened down the hatches, put away your lawn furniture, because I'm sure that you'll get that new lawn furniture in no time. And somebody else's, it'll just fly right into your yard, that kind of thing. So pretty nasty looking storm there, you guys. But hey, it is what it is. As far as everything else, most of it is quiet, and we'll pop back over to our Icelandic stuff, and we'll go through some of the earthquakes that have been shaking as well once we get into that. So gonna say hello to everyone, and of course our good King Colin Deadman is the one who made it in first. So Colin Deadman gets the cookies. There we go. These are royal cookies, royal lava cookies. You should be able to enjoy those. Anyway, that is awesome. And having said that, let's how about recycle lawn furniture? Well, yeah, you could get recycled lawn furniture. You might get a new garbage bin or two, and anything else that has the ability to fly under extreme winds. And so that includes roofs and people and houses, that kind of stuff. Hoping everybody is going to be good. So anyway, let me get at saying hello to everyone. We'll start out with hello to Sasha and Linda, and of course King Colin Deadman, who got the cookies. And Oz is in the house. Welcome back, Oz. Aloha to Mark the Shark. Clark Hall also here. Welcome. And going up some more. Did I say Sasha already? We got Linda. Yep. Sharon Stewart is here. And I hear the pitter-patter of noisy feet on top of our roof here. I don't know what the heck they're doing up there. I'm kind of watching them on the camera. Tetra is in the house. Welcome back, Tetra. And that is nice to have. You're concerned for Puerto Rico? Well, Puerto Rico is not in the path of this particular storm. Puerto Rico was hit by the last storm that was there, but this one now is the one that is going to actually make it in and hit Florida. It's already gone over Cuba and done some damage in Havana, from what I understood. So hopefully it won't do too much more. Anyway, going up a little bit more, I see Kevin Haynes is here. Sasha, we got One Fish 26 is here. Perfectability 999. Welcome back, Brian. And did I say Sharon Stewart? Of course I did. Going up some more, you guys. Kevin Haynes, I think I got you. And let's see, who else snuck in here? Scrolling up, looking, a lot of chatting going on, which is always nice. We don't mind people talking to each other. That's what it's all about. So I'm glad to have you guys doing that. And Don Arnold is in here. Welcome, Don Arnold. There we go. Not Donald. Anyway, we got you in here. No worries. Going up some more. Michael Olson also here. Welcome. And let's see who else is here. Scrolling up a little bit more. Tom Truelove. Welcome back. I'm glad to have you on board. And going up some more, looking for more wonderful names. Dominic FFM, welcome back, and glad to see you. And still scrolling up, looking for more wonderful people. And who do we got? Tom Turtleson, welcome back. Good to see you. And let's see, who else we got? OFU Lux from Luxembourg. I'm glad to have you on board, and that is about it for what's in there. Fairly light day. Tony Flabby is back in. Welcome, Tony. Daryl R. Also made it in. Good to see you. And I think we're good with names for right now. If I did happen to miss your name, it wasn't on purpose or intentional. It just happened to be that way. And you can always speak up and yell at me if... say, hey, you didn't say my name. And I'd be happy to, like One Fish 26. And, he's one of them there cute little guppies. I'm kidding. He's a good guy, no matter what. Anyway, let's carry on. I'm going to change things. Here, we're going to turn off our banner. There we go, and we're turning that off, and we'll turn that video off. I do have this set on what was going on a few hours back, and this is from about 6 hours and 17 minutes ago, or 16:47 according to the clock on the screen there. And yes, we've got a little bit of a smudge on the camera lens, but we'll kind of ignore that and pretend it's not there. Looking at the day, it did not look bad there today in Iceland. A little bit better than what it was. It was foggy and really rainy earlier, and that kind of cleared off. So we were able to see some of the good sights. Unfortunately, we are not seeing any of the lava. Fish are friends, not food, from Finding Nemo. Oh. Okay. Well, we won't talk about those fish burgers then. Okay, I'll carry on here. Some other scenes just to look at. Of course, that is the what do you call it there? The aluminum smelting plant, and you see the lights now, but earlier in the day it was kind of in the soup as well. And there you go. You can see what I'm talking about. You can see Kilauea, but you can't see anything beyond that. And Ragnar is usually visible in the background. We're not seeing that today. I'm going to put that back to live. There we go. This one, of course, is the city of Reykjavik. I don't know why it's buffering, but if we back up a little bit, we should get to somewhere where we had a sunset, sort of. I don't think we're going to see much of a sunset, but that is what Reykjavik was looking like today, which is not too bad. But hey, it is what it is. And then, of course, there is the other view that we admire so much, and that is of Katla. And let's see, there we go. Very foggy and yucky there as well. Katla is over here. You can see the snow pack, and that is the area that we're seeing that at. And of course, the other one here, I don't believe is going to show much of anything. It's in the dark, and we can't go back on that, guys. So that's kind of what Iceland was looking like today. And let's put it back on this one. And we will get into the harmonic tremor chart really quick. Fish sandwich, yummy. Yeah, why is it that I all of a sudden have a craving for a really, maybe head down to, what do you call that? Tony, we're talking about Iceland. But right now I got a craving for a fish sandwich. I'm going to have to head down to Popeyes. That's it, Popeyes. They got a pretty good one, and I like their fish. Nothing, no offense intended, one fish, but that is, yeah, fish volcano. Anyway, harmonic tremor chart coming up, and there it is. I'm going to refresh it, although it is fairly fresh, just like the fish. And there we go. Oh, that's Grindavik. That's not even the right place. Well, that's we'll look at Grindavik first. Big downward trend. Okay, we're seeing what Grindavik is doing. Let's go up to Fregadalfjall and actually have a look at ours. And that is, I think, right about here. And there we go. And you can see that we did have a downward trend there as well, for the most part. So telling us nothing really major going on. I love salmon. Okay, a smoked salmon. Oh, to die for. Oops. Sorry, one fish. Didn't mean to scare you away. It's the sharks that are saying, Mark the Shark, they are Fish Eaters Anonymous. Oh, Fish Eaters Anonymous. Anyway, I will leave that alone. As we can see here, a few little tremors in here, and nothing major. There was a quake there. That would have been about 4 or 5 in the morning, and that's about it. So really nothing major in our area. Let's have a quick peek at the tremors in that area, and of course the first one that comes to visibility down there is this guy, and that I wonder if that was somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock for that 2.1, because that's sizable. I will take a quick look and see, and nope, that would have been from yesterday, so that wasn't the one. We'll use the other map and have a look there, because we're not seeing anything else in our immediate vicinity of Fraga del Fjall, and that is kind of iffy, I guess. We do have a 1.1 over here. I don't believe that would have shaken everything over there. That's yesterday's as well. So let's go to the other map and we'll have a quick peek. Last 24 hours from right now would have been 74 quakes in total, and we can see that up here at the top of the list, and that is what we were seeing. So let's zoom into our Fraga del Fjall area and look for an earthquake that would have registered at around between 5 and 6 a.m. or roughly like that. One like this one, 6:04 a.m., 0.228 and 3.7 kilometers down. So that could have been our little spike there, right there, and that would be pretty obvious. Of course, they put the volcano right in the middle here, but our main fissures and stuff, the first one and Ragnar would be about here. And of course, on this right around here is roughly where we're seeing our Sigi fissure that opened up. So that is our Fraga del Fjall area. It is its own little volcanic system. And we're going to have a look at these other ones here. 0.74 from 1352, 5.1 kilometers down. A very small 1.14. 1.7 kilometers down, not very deep. 1354 is the time on that, and then we have a very small one, 0.05, and that is 0.62 kilometers down. Happened at actually yesterday, 2352, so we know it's not him. So this would be the one that registered for us this morning. And we do see all kinds of other little quakes around. I do believe this one here, that's the one that we've seen there, 4:38 a.m. Oh, that's a different one. That might have been the one that caused that, because that was a little bit bigger. So 4:38, very likely that guy. So 2.11, 7.4 kilometers down almost. So pretty interesting to see that. And then we see some fresher ones here. 15:59 was the time on that. 1.3, 5.9 kilometers down. Then we have this 0.09, very small, 11:38 a.m. and 5 kilometers down for that guy. We also have a few others hiding underneath here. 5:19 a.m. for this 1.2, 4.4 kilometers down. Not going to bother with all of them. It's kind of silly there, but we're seeing this one 0.24, and that was from 1:33 this morning. 2.5 kilometers down on him, and too small to worry about. That one we already checked. So let's zoom out a little bit. These other ones are very small. I'm not going to really worry about them. There was a 1.3 in there. Yeah, 1.36 from 7:31 a.m. and that was 4.7 kilometers down. Not sure if that's really going to make any difference for us. Sliding over and taking a look at Katla area. We don't see any quakes there, none over here at this wonderful one either, nothing out at Hekla, and then we'll slide over to Grimsvatn, and Grimsvatn is over here. No, Grimsvatn should be right here. And let's see, there we go. Okay, a couple little ones there. 0.78, 9.4 kilometers, or just about 9.5 kilometers down. 5:02 a.m. on that guy. Then we have from 1400 today, 0.61, 3.6 kilometers down. Really not very large. We do see this one over towards Bardabunga, 0.7, 135 meters down from 1428, and that is pretty cool to see, but nothing major. And then we've got a whole row of little ones here. I'm just curious about how deep down. 16.7 kilometers for that guy, 12.2 for him, this guy at 5.2 for the 0.2, and then 20 kilometers down for that one. Wow, that's getting really deep from 10:16 this morning for that full 0.43, and then we have a 0.49, 19.63 kilometers down as well. So lots of little stuff happening, nothing really major. Astja had this 1.1, 4.4 kilometers down at 18:06 this afternoon, or well, evening actually. 18 would be 6:06 p.m. is roughly the time. We also had a 0.9, 0.6 of a kilometer down, and that was from a 1712. Looking underneath that, I think that is a 0.3. That's just very small. Grandma B throws in a gift, a membership. Thanks, Grandma B. Grandma B. And gifted one. And that is excellent. Thank you, Grandma B. And good evening to you. Sliding over a little bit more, we do see this 1.3, 1.6 kilometers down from 2250. And always nice to have extra ones popping in there. And going up a little bit more, looking for the mess. And we've got a few more quakes in the area, but still nothing major. And you notice they're all down as far as size is concerned that we've seen out here near Grimsey. And I'm just curious about depth right now. That one is 1.98 from 1345, 10 kilometers down. Then he had this other from a friend, 1.86, also 10 kilometers down, 1338. Let's do some sampling here. 1236 for this 1.57, 10 kilometers down. Another 1.5 here, that's 5 kilometers down from 1929. We'll grab that 1.3, 15 kilometers down. Wow. And let's see what else we got. Earlier ones here from yesterday, actually, 1.57 at 10 kilometers down. We'll grab this 1.18, 9 kilometers down. Gives you a pretty good idea of what we're looking at as far as depths, and they're really not all that close to the surface. And that's always when we look for stuff. So, and anyway, having seen that, I'm pretty confident that we're not going to have anything erupting today, unfortunately, in Iceland. Not yet, anyway. It doesn't look like it's busy enough to cause that. But having said that, we do have those other quakes that are very, very interesting. And let me get on the right map. I had to update the computer again today, so everything is in the wrong place, and I'm always looking for stuff. Anyway, there you see Iceland, and there you can see the Reykjanes Ridge, and it goes down all the way down to the corner here, cuts over. Of course, that's all part of the mid-Atlantic ridge. And the swarm continues. And we see multiple quakes. This would be another 4.6 that happened at 1628. And I'm not sure whose time they're really going by, but I counted, this would be number 14 now. So 14 quakes that are between 4 and 5 in magnitude, and none have gone over 5 in magnitude. Just 4.9 was the largest one. So lots of them are going on there, and that is very, very interesting that we've got a swarm right there. And it would be neat if all of a sudden we had an eruption there, but there's nothing around it, and I don't think we'll have any coverage if it does happen there. Looks like a bunch of previous quakes happened in your area, your way. No previous quakes. Well, here the yellow dots are the older ones, and the orange ones are pretty much all from today. Like the time on that one is, as an example, 4.7 magnitude, 119 was the time on it. They're showing 10 kilometers down on all of these. This one was actually yesterday's at 4.6, 23:26 on that guy. Another 4.6, 10 minutes after midnight, 10 kilometers down. Then we see a 4.7 from 4:59 a.m. and again 10 kilometers down. 4.6 from 13:39. We got this guy here, 4.8 from 2:47 a.m. You know, and the list goes on. Another 4.6. That was yesterday's 21:05. So it gives you a pretty good idea that we do have something happening there, and that is something that is interesting. And of course, further down the mid-Atlantic ridge, we also had a 5.0, and that I don't know if that's because of the pressure that this is building up on the plate or what's happening, but we do see these here, and that is very interesting and very cool. Leaving that alone though for right now. We'll leave that for our Hawaii stuff when we get to it, and we'll pop over to our Sicily next. And I think we skipped Sicily yesterday, actually, by accident. I totally forgot to go there. And I want to make sure we cover Sicily today. So, Mount Etna. And right now, very difficult to see anything there because of the weather and clouds. We'll back up a little bit and see if we can see a little bit. And this is kind of what it looks like right now. Or wow, at 6 p.m., 10 after 6 in the evening for them. That is what Etna was looking like. But I did want to show you, because I jumped over it yesterday, I forgot to... hey, Chicky Gomberg, lucky you got the membership that Grandma B had purchased as a gift there. And welcome. I'm glad to have you on board again. Nice to see you, Chicky. Been a while. So there you go. You got a free membership for a month. Lucky you. And that is cool. And okay, so here's the video from the time lapse I put together from yesterday. That was what it was looking like, and I really didn't want to show that because it was just raining and pouring there and things going across. But we have another one from today as well. So that was Sicily's weather yesterday. Everything was getting a good drenching, and that is pretty awesome. And we like that. So we'll let that play. It looks pretty scary, actually. And again, you got to remember this was going pretty quick as far as our time lapse. I think 64 times regular speed. So when you see these rain swells come through and stuff, they didn't happen quite as quickly as what you're seeing. But that was yesterday's, and then we'll get on to today's. And I think that was just about it for yesterday's. There we go. And we'll turn that guy off, and we'll go into today's and get that guy running. And this is what it was looking like today. Again, this is sped up to 64 times, and I do believe it's a couple hours worth of material, just so you could see. Hey, Sue Hayes is here. Welcome, and glad to have you on board. And yeah, you can see Mount Etna was producing some smoke, so it's not dormant or gone quiet completely. It is continuing to off-gas a fair amount. But again, it was one of those days where you had trouble seeing it for a while. I did manage to go back so we could see it, but here you can see the cloud build up, and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone and you can't see it anymore. So at least we had a shot or a little bit of time in between there that we could see it, and I thought that was kind of nice. And it looks a little weird with those clouds just vaporizing and disappearing and moving around, bouncing around kind of oddly and weirdly. But as I said, Etna is still producing a bunch of off-gassing. Hey, Yona, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And Yona from Iceland, nice to have you here. So thanks, Kevin, for the 2-minute warning. And I actually looked at the clock already and thought, hey, when's this break supposed to be? And yeah, so pretty cool with the wonderful time lapse, and I thought it was worthy of doing this one in addition to showing that one from yesterday. So pretty awesome. And there you go. That is it. And that was what Mount Etna in Sicily was looking like this morning. Cloud lapse. Yep, it is. It is indeed. And at least we could see it today, in comparison to what we were yesterday. And that is kind of it. So that's good for right now. What I'm going to do is pop us back over to our canned lava, and then we'll get that set up. For those good people who are here, if you have not yet, hit that like button. Help us out, of course. We're trying to get to that magic 100 mark, and actually try to surpass it. So hopefully that'll happen. Putting the canned lava back on. This was from August 4th, and we'll throw some tunes back on for you. And I see we are at 55 likes, which is really good. And on that note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm going to take a 5-minute break or thereabouts, and then I will be back. Keep smiling and be good, everyone. And did anyone else that pop in that I missed here? Looking pretty quiet here today. So, all right, I'll leave it there. And be good, you guys. And I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you. And I am back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board today. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and I see we've got a few more people popping in here. And thank you, Tony and Sue, for the welcome backs. And let's see, Jody, Grace made it back in. Welcome, Jody. Glad to have you on board from Melbourne, Australia. And that is awesome. And of course, Leo is also from Melbourne. When he gets in, sometimes he pops in. Other times he doesn't. But that's all good. And I see Jed is also here. James Donnelly. Jed, welcome back. I'm glad to have you on board. And of course, we got Chicky Gomberg is back, which is really nice to see. So good to have you guys on board. And Oz, thank you very kindly for gifting that one membership there. And Gura26 also popped in and renewed his. That is excellent. So really cool. And welcome all of you. Glad to have you here. Yeah, let's carry on with our stuff. So we have a look at our wonderful Siggy area there, and also most of Iceland being fairly quiet. And then we took a look at our Sicily, and that is all good. So let's turn off our canned lava here for a minute, and as soon as my computer will let me, and there we go. That is our Siggy Fisher that we seen earlier there. Let me get rid of that other thing up top there from the 4th, because it's not. This is from right now. So, from 1721 or 5:21 p.m. It's a little bit later than that there now in Iceland, but it's dark, so we use this scene here to be able to see that. Anyway, that is what we're seeing, and pretty awesome. And let's carry on with other wonderful volcanoes and news around the world. We'll go through our stuff. This, of course, is the Azores, and we have two volcanoes in the Azores. One on Sao George, the island that we're on, and of course you see the harbor area right here, and a part of the town, and then across the strait you see the lights of Pico Island. And if you aren't familiar with that, I do believe, yeah, there it is, and that is what it normally looks like during a daytime shot. Or if you want to use the other one here, I think, not this one, that was a couple of days ago when it was pretty rough weather. So that's kind of what it looks like when it's rough weather. And the next one, of course, is that little cove we always look at for our weather to see how rough the seas are. This is a shot from the 24th. So a little bit older, but we'll get over there and we'll look at the real McCoy and see what it looks like right now. We'll turn those two off, and we'll take a look at the cove. And there we go. And we see that there are still some pretty big waves coming in, a lot of white water, and that is indicating that it's still a fairly rough sea. So if you're heading out, you want to make sure that you have a bigger boat because the little one is going to have a hard time. And let's go over and take a look and see what we got for earthquakes. And everything is reloading here because we haven't done too much. It looks like 3 of them for today. And of course there was a 2.0. These are all the ones from Sao George itself. We'll look at the other map for the other quakes in the area. This one was at 1318, 2.0. Then we had another 2.0 at 1619. And then one more here 1.6 from 1642. So that's kind of what we were seeing on Sao George. The other one, the other volcano, of course, is over here on Terceira Island, if I said it right. But that is there. And if we zoom in, you can actually see it. And that is the volcano in question. So that is pretty awesome to actually see that. Gives you a pretty good idea where on the island it is and how big it is in comparison to the island. So, you know, if you got something happening there, boy oh boy, get out of town. And anyway, that is kind of what we see on this particular map. Let's go to the other one. Again, it's refreshing itself here. And that is because I redid everything, and we're going to make this map a little bit bigger so we can see it. So there were some other quakes in the area, and of course here's our Sao George. So just to show you that they're actually showing 3 on there, and 7 hours ago 2.3, 10 hours ago 2.3, and then the 1.6 7 hours ago as well, and those were showing there. So let's take a look at where the other ones are. Nothing on Terceira over here, but we do see this guy here 21 minutes ago, 2.3, and that happened right there. Not sure what the name of that. I think it's Miguel. I'm not sure, but that's where we had that one. And then there was one here 6 hours ago, 3.2 in magnitude, and that is it for the quakes today for that area. If we zoom out a little bit more, you can kind of get a better idea of where the Azores are. So that new batch of quakes happened here on the Reykjanes Ridge, and that is down at that point. Of course, this is Portugal and Spain over here, and you got Nova Scotia and Newfoundland right there. Kind of gives you a pretty good idea where we're at. So Eurasian plate, African plate, and North American plate, and that is the junction point right there. Gives you a pretty good idea of what we're looking at. All right, well, I'll leave that be, and I think that's good and self-explanatory for right now. I forgot to make that bigger. There we go. Darn it. Oh, I do that sometimes. Close that one. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see it a little bit better. And that is, of course, Portugal and Spain right there. And Canada over here, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and Mid-Atlantic Ridge coming all the way down, and of course the divider line between the Eurasian and African plates. Really cool stuff. Let's continue on though, and we'll pop over to well, you know where that is, Popocatépetl, and that is coming in as a beautiful volcano gray. And let's back up a little bit to earlier, and it was kind of cloudy and foggy and stuff really early for a good portion of the day, but we did see a little bit here, 7:22 this morning. It was doing its thing, and then of course if we go ahead in time a little bit, you can see how much snow actually was sitting on top of Popocatépetl, and that's this is usually what I use for a marker here, this little drop down, and you know, the last couple of days it's been about here. Today we see it way down, so that snow has definitely been busy. It's gotten down a little bit further there, so stay warm, you guys. You know, but anyway, that was from 7:48 in the morning, and we didn't see too many major outputs here. I think this might have been one of them. This was about 9.5 hours ago, 8:45 a.m. We do see some wonderful grayish material coming out with that clear white, or well, white steam. But let's just advance that 5 seconds at a time so you get a better idea of what it was looking like. And then it started pushing out the whiter material again. So really nothing super major there, but that is Popocatépetl. And as I mentioned, at nighttime this thing does glow a little bit, and I did capture a bit of a time lapse for you guys to make this kind of a little bit more of a understandable concept. So we'll get that going for you right now. And of course, this is a time lapse. You see all that snow, and you see the volcano doing its eruptive activity during the night, and it was very bright as far as the way things were going. And you can see some of the material actually popped right out of there. So we did have lava being ejected, which is something we rarely see in this thing, and a good bunch of pops, if you will, coming out of that. And I thought that was pretty nice. And of course you can see the stars moving along in the background very nicely as well. And yep, doing its puffing, and of course having the clouds in there. This is just a short little video, so figured I'd throw that in for you so you can see what it was looking like. And that is during the night. Sharon Stewart, yeah, thanks. And yeah, it is kind of awesome. I liked it. Anyway, let's go over to our other ones. We'll shut that guy off. And there we go. And that is back to what we were seeing at 8:50 a.m. But this is what our volcano gray looks like right now at 18:49 their local time. And let's continue down the coast. And of course, here's another volcano exhibiting that wonderful volcano gray. And that, of course, is Fuego. And Fuego has been doing its thing as well. This is at just about 7 a.m. this morning. The clouds were out of the way a little bit, which is really nice. And we do see it pluming off, doing its thing as well. So, and it kept on doing that. There was a bunch of little eruptions like that. Nothing really super major as far as I could tell. This one was a little bit later here. That one was from 7:15 a.m. And then we had a little bit more activity about, let's see, right about here. Let's see if we can get that going a little bit, 5 seconds at a time. There we go. And that was at 7:26. And hopefully that continues to do its thing. And that one seemed to be a little bit more a dark material, but on occasion this thing actually throws out quite a bit, and I'm wondering if something has changed inside it. The thing I noticed in this one was, again, we're seeing a lot more material dropping down on the top of the cone here. So we know there is extra hard material, possibly lava coming out, and definitely a bunch of ash and boulders and tephra and everything else that you find that normally comes out of one of these volcanoes. And as we move along, it did a bunch more of that little puffing as we progressed in the day. About 8 o'clock, yeah, I had that written down, 8 a.m. And that was what we were seeing there. Again, more material being thrown onto the mountain itself as it throws its eruption up and out. There were a few more, and I mean we could go over a few of them, but I'm really not too worried about it right now. And we're looking at that by 9 a.m. It was pretty much gray, and I don't recall seeing any breaks in between that gray. So gray skies, that is what happens when you have bad weather in the area. And it is that season, so they got some bad thunderstorms down there. Nothing we can do about it. And of course, Cerro Negro, not showing any output right now. It is covered in cloud as well, so we wouldn't expect to see too much moving. And that is in Nicaragua. Continuing on, Nicaragua, Masaya volcano also got some bad weather in the area. You can't really see the volcanoes caldera today, unfortunately, because of where it is. So it's time for me to get to work. Tony Flabby, have a wonderful day, and enjoy your day or work day. Hopefully it'll be all right. And there we go. And that is our Central American stuff. And let us pop over to let's pop over to Merapi, and we'll have a quick peek at Merapi, if I can find that. Actually, let's skip Merapi. Let's go to Semeru. Semeru. There's why I wanted to go to Semeru. Semeru is erupting. And that is pretty cool. Yeah, we got a little bit of output there from Semeru. We don't often get to see that, but that is what we've got right now. And I just figured, hey, it's lit up. It looks pretty good right now, so let's look at that. I do want to make sure I'm on the right page. There we go. And is that cranked up, or are they still down at 420? Yeah, 480. Not much we can do. I'm actually going to just back that up a little bit. I want to see what it looked like when it came out. I love having the power to control volcanoes. Okay, now play. There we go. So, yeah, now it's saying a volume. I don't want volume. There we go. Yeah, we didn't really see any ejector coming out of that, but at least it gives you a pretty good idea of what it was doing, and we'll put that back to live. That is what we've got there right now. I don't believe they had our wonderful Krakatoa working. Nope. So we'll put it back on Semeru, and that is pretty awesome there. And let's slide over and take a look at the Merapi, since that one didn't show up earlier here. And let me get on the right screen. And there it is. It's moved. It's all the way to the other end of my list of stuff now. Hard to find some of these things. Again, the clouds were horrible there when we go back into nighttime. And this was at 7 a.m. but this is right here. This is 4:27. Very, very poor storms in there. And actually, when you go all the way back, you don't see anything until you get back to about 12 hours ago almost. And even then, there's very, very little to look at. So we're going to put that one back on live. There you go. And we do see it is off-gassing a bit, but really poor visibility, so I'm not going to worry about that guy today. Thank you for the 4-minute warning, Kevin. And why is that there? Okay, and there we go. I had to reset the computer, so everything was out of kilter. Anyway, very clear skies there in New Zealand today. This is Mount Ruapehu. And Ruapehu is looking awful snowy and white. Some of those upper areas got very deep, fresh snow on them, which is probably pretty good. So I like it. It looks nice, and that is awesome. And I think that is good for right now. But well, let's take a look at one more here. If we go over to Japan real quick, and we'll have a look at that. And there is a Sakurajima frozen, but we'll see if we can shake the cobwebs out. And that should be unfrozen now. Yep, we can see things moving. Clouds sitting in there. I don't know if that is, I think it's just rain clouds coming in from the looks of things. And they are at a lower level, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see a heck of a lot from that one today. Looking here, we see we just missed the ice cream boat. Darn it. There it is. The ice cream boat is leaving. And that is unfortunate. But we're going to take a break right away here. And hopefully the other ice cream boat will come in and dock over here at the docks. And we'll make sure we get you to have a look at that. Something in this picture that I did not notice before. Remember over here in this corner, they had filled in a bunch of this area with sand, and look at what's left. There's not very much left in the that corner, so a lot of that got washed out. And also here, the breakwater barriers that they've got, they don't look so healthy anymore. And I'm wondering if when that last storm went through, if that caused some problems and got rid of some of that and broke up the material in there. Just a thought. I don't know. I don't recall. So haven't seen Mount Fuji for a while. Yeah, I stopped showing it because I had just way too many windows open, and I got rid of that one since it really is not an active volcano. So we'll deal with that later on in life, though. See if we can get it going again. And anyway, putting you back over to Iceland with our canned lava, so we have something moving for you. And we'll get the marker on there that everybody knows when it's from, August 4th. And Mona Alfano just popped in as well. Good to see you, Mona. And take care, Tony Flabby, if you're still listening. And on that friendly note, I am going to go take a break for 5 minutes or thereabouts. And be good, be kind, play nice in the lava, you guys. For those who have not yet hit that like button, please do consider hitting the like button. It would be awesome. And on that note, also, if you have not yet subscribed, you're sitting on the outside. All it takes is hitting that red big subscribe button and turning it gray. Don't forget to hit the bell notification if you haven't done so. That way you always get notified. On that note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes, and we'll show some bacon seeds after that when I return. Keep smiling, you guys. I'll be back soon. Thank you. And we're back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board today. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And of course, you're watching VolcanoX, a live stream. Thank you, and welcome, Leo. I'm glad to see you. Thank you, Sue Hayes and Kevin Haynes and Gura. You guys are awesome. And probably going to see Sharon Stewart saying, "I can hear you." That'll be coming shortly, I'm sure. I'm sure of it, unless she's busy singing again or something like that. But it happens. Anyway, I did promise to show wonderful bacon seeds, and we will do that. I'm going to turn off our canned lava here, and of course that is putting us back on the live almost live stream there for our Siggy Fisher that we can see, and pretty cool. So anyway, let's go over and have a look at bacon seeds, and hopefully they worked out okay, and we can see what's going on. That is the last one from yesterday, so pretty awesome. And let's have a look at our first ones from today, and that is these guys. And they look like they're running around. They're kind of skinny. They need more meat on their bones, and I'm sure they'll get some more. Little young ones, they always look like that, don't they? And they're cute though. I like those black ones, and then we got one that's kind of skin and bones. The young ones, they come out very skinny usually, and it doesn't take long for them to get fat on mama's milk. So here's the next one, and that one doesn't look so skinny. He's got some spots and a black tail. Yeah. Pretty cool. Black head, a black tail, and the interesting body in between there. Kind of like it, you guys. Holstein, yep, possibly. Very, very possible. Anyway, he looks like he's resting. Round little tummy, yep, he's definitely well fed, and looking like he's probably just finished eating and got a little bit on the heavy side. Brian Rock Rail Fan, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. Brian Perfectability 999 also here, so I don't know if I said hi to you, Brian. Here's a couple that are out in the field looking at different things to eat, and they are definitely wandering around. I don't know about those ears. I wonder if they got bit or how they got those chunks missing out of them. Charcoal pigs. Yeah. They're neat looking though. I do like them. They're pretty awesome. And next one. There we go. That is a really tiny one with a mama guarding it, saying, "Hey, you better not take any more other pictures other than the one, or I'll bite you." Spock piggies, yep. Anyway, this one looks cute. That the little guy, I don't know about mama, but the little guy definitely looks cute. And don't worry, pigs will bite you if you annoy them and go into their pen and are unwanted. They will bite you big time. They don't mind biting you. Anyway, let me get to the next wonderful bacon seed picture, and that is this guy. Now, I don't know what to make of this. This little guy apparently has got a big round tummy, but you can still see his ribs. So I'm thinking this is a newborn who hasn't built up some feed yet here, but that is still, he's probably a very young one, and needs a few days to change his body and get a little bigger and heavier, But he has got kind of a smile on his face, so it doesn't look like he's in too bad of spirits. And here comes our last bacon seed for today, and that is this guy. He's got racing stripes, Bambi the pig, and with some racing stripes, and yep, a little snout on the other one. This one's snout is a little bit bigger, but this one's also smiling, so I like that. This is our last bacon seed for today, so really, really nice to see, and we like it. And yep, cute little piggy. Yeah, he almost looks like one that would cuddle well. It's one of those things. But I can't see it cuddling one once they get up to about 400 kilograms. Anyway, that's it for our bacon seeds for today, you guys. Let's carry on, and then we'll go back to Sakurajima, and we'll carry on from that point, and let's see what we've got. Come on, switch. There we go. The second ice cream boat still didn't come in. It should be coming on this side any moment. But we'll take a look shortly to see if it shows up. Looking at Sakurajima again, it does look like it's still pretty much in the clouds. Really hard to tell what's coming out of there with all that cloud sitting right on top of it, unfortunately, you guys. So not much I can do with it, and we will leave it there for right now. We'll move on to ASO, and today we can see ASO. Yesterday we couldn't. It was in the clouds and in the rain, but you can definitely see the caldera today, and you can see it is steaming because all that water that got in there yesterday made it throw out a lot more steam than it normally does, since it was cooking pretty good. So I like that. That is interesting, and looks neat, looks nice, and hopefully it will continue to go. And of course, that is ASO, spelled ASO, and ASO, of course, is a green right now. So we'll see what happens in the future, though. This thing could pop really at any point in time. Some of those plumes coming out of here, I wonder, that's kind of dark stuff. And again, the lighting isn't so good, so I'm wondering if it's a possibility that it is throwing up some other stuff other than just steam. And if that is the case, then we may see that come back on the map fairly quickly. And actually, yeah, for just steam, that looks awful dark. I wonder if there is, in fact, some volcanic ash and dust in there or something, or that's just a trick of the light. It's hard to tell. We can see some more steam coming up underneath here, so you never know. Or it could just be a hole, and we're seeing the back wall of the caldera there. Anyway, that's what we've got. Not sure what we can do with it. That is as good as the quality gets for that one. And let's pop over to our next one, Southern Islands of Japan, and this is Suwanoshi-jima. This time around, you can actually see the caldera. This is actually nice. For a change, we can see the caldera, which is really kind of cool, and that is pretty good right in there. If we go back in time, and let's see, this is about an hour and a half ago, we do see some clouds moving around there as well. If we go back a little earlier, we do see some steam coming out of this, and that is kind of nice. And then if we go back even further, about here, I think, and yeah, you can see a lot more steam coming out of it. This was at 5:27 a.m., so very early in the day, and that is what we were kind of seeing at Sakurajima. Again, I went through the nighttime shots looking to see if I could find open lava popping up, and I really didn't see a darn thing. This is already back to midnight. There you can see a little bit of a glow, okay, and that is in the right place. So I'm not sure. I know it is an active volcano, but we just never see anything coming out of that darn thing. And let's see, right, oh, hang on, we might get more of a glow right about here. There we go. And that is definitely a glow, from that magma that's down in the bottom of that volcano. So that is just about at midnight, or quarter after, 15 minutes after midnight, roughly. And we know it would have been doing its thing. And of course, it is high output as far as SO2, so pretty cool. CJ Phillips, welcome. And has there been any live eruption in Iceland lately? And not since the one in August, CJ. The one in August is what we were using here as my break time kind of intermission video that we were seeing. But yeah, Iceland right now is relatively quiet. So that's kind of what we were looking at. This, of course, is Suwa-no-Shijima on one of the southern islands down in Japan. And that is what happened at about 15 minutes after midnight. You can see it get a little bit more intense there as far as the glow. So we do know that this is pretty awesome. Irish monk, wow, thank you very kindly. Irish monk paid the big fella at the door, and that is very cool. And boy, you must be looking for favors or something. You got paid him a little too much there. Thank you kindly, Irish monk, for that wonderful support. I do appreciate that. That is awesome. And that is kind of it for there. I want to see if I can find Taal. Let's see, there's Taal. Yep, Taal will be good. And welcome, Irish monk. The monk is paid half. Ah, okay. And that is awesome. Okay, popping over. Actually, I'm going to. I got to get my stuff straight here. I go back to this one. I want to put this back so we can see if the ice cream boat has come. No ice cream boat yet. We're going to check on that, though, to make sure the ice cream boat does show up. But let's go over to Taal. And, of course, that is in the Philippines, south of our wonderful Japan. And as you can see, Taal is got a very, very little material coming out of it. And let me get on the right one. There we go. And we see a couple little spots here of steam, but nothing really major. Looks like a little bit right there coming up. So for the most part, Taal is being very quiet. So short news coming out of Taal. And that is what we've got there today. And let's carry on, and we'll move over to Yellowstone. Looks like that is stuck too. Let me see if we can get that going. Yep, shake it up a little, and it seems to move. Anyway, that is Yellowstone National Park from their cameras. And Leo just brought up that link. Thank you, Leo. And that is pretty awesome. The thing with Yellowstone, of course, is they have over 500 active geysers in that Yellowstone Park, and we love seeing that. I'm not seeing any buffalo running around or Sasquatches in this particular shot, so we're not going to worry about it so much. But they're moving the camera around fairly quickly here. Actually, I think they got two feeds going, and they keep switching between them. So that is still pretty neat. Some of the vents that they're looking at, and I am not familiar with the names of all of them. I do recognize the beehive one, and I do recognize Old Faithful, but as far as all the other ones, the ones that they refer to as a steamboat and stuff like that, I don't know. That might be the one we're looking at right now, but I really don't know which one is what. So that is pretty straightforward. There's some people walking. Those are people, not Sasquatches. I think the Sasquatch in the back here, this guy is watching them though. He's standing back there. And I don't know. Anyway, let's leave that be. We're going to go over and have a look at Hawaii. And unfortunately, because I had to reboot my computer, I lost my shot from last night, which was actually a fairly nice looking. But there is your lava lake or lava pond, and that is inside the crater at Kilauea. And that was from 8:06 this morning their time in Hawaii. And of course we have the lava tube filling up the little pond here from this end, and then we see there's a little bit of a drain hole there. You can see a little light through there, and that is how it gets into the toe area, as we call it. And then we see some extra spots right there and over here, and giving you a pretty good idea that it is draining as well as getting fresh lava in from this side. So recycling pretty awesome, pretty good. And let's refresh that and see what it looks like right now. And there we go, nice clean picture. A lot more lava in that pond. So the level is going back up, which is really nice to see. And we do see a few more of those spots where we've got the lava bubbling up. Of course, that is as the lava drains downward, the gas bubbles, being lighter, want to go back up. And they do pop right at the surface, and they'll break right through some of that thin crust that has developed on top of the lava. So we've got some right there over here where the toe area is, and just beyond that, and then a few other spots where it is draining back out. So being filled from this end and draining in those other points, which is pretty cool. And that one was from 1406. So let's have a look at earlier here. 8:12 a.m. their time in Hawaii. Primary vent right there. The Hornito would be right in here. Very difficult to see, but the lava tube is underneath there and feeding into the pond. Of course, looking around the caldera, we don't see as much smoke on this side at all today. We do see a little bit on the back here, which is a little bit weird, but we still see this spot going up the side of the hill. And when watching this, you can actually, like when Two Pineapples did his live there, we actually seen that was kind of off-gassing and steaming from up fairly high. So we know there's a path there, and likely we'll see this area collapse into the caldera here in the future. Anyway, I will refresh that one just to see what it looks like right now. There you go. You can still see it off-gassing up here, and a little less smoke in there, which is good. Of course, there's your lava pond toe area. Primary vent hiding behind the smoke, and the little Hornito there where it's got the lava tube going into the pond. You can see Pig Island right there, but it's not that bad. And let's go to the other side. We're going to take a look from this side over on this shot here. And there you can see Pig Island right there. It's actually a pretty big looking at this point in time. And that is possibly because the level dropped a little bit and Pig Island is floating more. So that's kind of what I figured. Tow area, lava pond, primary vent, and little hornito over there, lava tube coming in right there. And that's what we've got on that shot. And let's refresh that. That's what it looks like right now at 14:21 Iceland or Hawaii time, not Iceland time, Hawaii time. There we go. That looks like Iceland. Yeah, almost, but not quite. They got palm trees here. Big difference. Palm trees versus no palm trees. I like this area better with the palm trees. Anyway, quick pop at the thermal, and that is what we're seeing. There's that little hornito with the lava tube in it that feeds the pond, primary vent right toe area there. Not seeing any new spills of lava around the edges at all, but we'll see what happens in the future. Gonna refresh that one to now. No, not now. I don't want to take a survey. Anyway, there we see a few little fresh lava spots. So we do have some heating and fresh magma pushing up underneath. And that is kind of interesting to see. Good day, upside down person at Leo Carlson. Wow. Way to go, Irish. Anyway, looking pretty good there. And that is all awesome. Actually, Irish Monk, I was just going to ask, is the monkus upside down too? Just wondering, because she is in South America, you know. What is that's why my barbecue wouldn't light. Yeah, it's upside down. Holy mackerel, that is not good. Anyway, I'll leave that be. Okay, you guys, it is break time, and after break, we'll take a look at the earthquakes in Hawaii and other wonderful places. For right now, I'm going to put you back on our canned lava, since this is what it looks like right now in Iceland at Siggy's Fissure there. So that is a little better shot of what used to be, and that is from August 4th. And on that friendly note, for those good people who are here, if you have not yet, hit that like button, help us out. We are trying to achieve 100 likes. That's when the YouTube analytics take over and do their magic. So if we can get a few more likes in there, would be awesome. And also, if you want to subscribe, if you're liking what you're seeing and feel we've earned it, by all means, do hit that subscribe button. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I will be back in about 5 or so minutes, and then we'll carry on. Thank you very much. And the microphone is back on. Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board. And can you buy bacon in a can? You bet. And you can even get puzzles and stuff with your bacon. Anyway, lava in a can keeps away the blues, and it does. It really does. And ever since I started doing the canned lava, it seems to be working out very, very well. Hey, Irish Monk, thank you for gifting those 5 memberships as well. And just to put a little note in there, yes, I'm not 100% sure exactly where you turn on that feature if you haven't received the gift, but somewhere in the stuff that you have, there is a place to turn on accepting gifts for streams, and that has to be turned on in order to get your actual free membership if somebody was giving some away. So if you're unsure about it, just type that in, how to turn on a gift things in your YouTube search, and that will give you a bunch of videos there that show you where you can turn it on, and that is pretty good. Spam is spliced ham. Spliced ham? Cool. And that is awesome. Okay, so let's pop on over. Actually, let's turn off our canned lava for right now. We'll pause it, and that way the can won't go empty. There we go. Pause that, and let's get over to the earthquakes. We were going to take a look at the Hawaiian earthquakes really quickly, and then carry on to the rest of the world. And again, I'm looking for where my earthquakes went. And where are they? There they are. Things have changed again because I had to reboot for Windows updates, of course. Anyway, it doesn't look like we have anywhere near as many fresh earthquakes as what we did over the last couple days, as you can see by all those yellow dots there. So the orange ones are the ones that are of interest, and the red ones are the latest ones. Let's start down here, and that is on the big island of Hawaii, of course. This one, 2.6 in magnitude, was actually from yesterday at 21:39. Then we'll get into these here in the Pahala area, and we'll start with that one. Yesterday's at 1926, 1.8. This is a 2.3 from 8:50 a.m. today. This guy 2.0 from 2:16 in the morning. Then we have this guy 2.1, 2:11 this morning. And then we have a 1.8 from 13:51, and also a 2.0 right in there, and that was from 9:03 a.m. Let's have a look at these other ones here. 3:10 a.m. for this 2.1, and then we have this guy at 2.3, 13:22 was the time on it. Then we have a 1.7 from 17:18. This bigger one underneath here, 4.5. That was from earlier today. That is a sizable quake, 4.5. We haven't seen one that large for a while in Hawaii. That was 16:43 was the time on that guy. And if we go take a look at the newest one here beside it, that is from 18:38 there, and I just want to double check. Yeah, 32 clicks down for that guy. We got that one. Looking at this other one here, also new from 1749, 2.2, and then we have this 2.3. Ooh, we got another new one there. That is cool. 2.3 from 1655. And the freshest one right there from 1806, Hawaii time, 2.3 as well. And that is the Pahala area. In general, it's anywhere from about 26 to about 36, 37 kilometers in depth as far as the whole zone is concerned. So that is what we see right there. We aren't noticing anything new over at Kilauea as far as quakes. But let's go up on the hill. While we're going up, we'll catch this guy. 2.3 from 10:48 a.m. and that is at 8.8 kilometers down. So that's what we got. 10:48. Wow. And looking at here, we don't have very many new ones. Yesterday, 23:26 for this 2.0. And then we have a 1.9 came in at 17 minutes after 12 noon, Hawaii time. And then we have a 2.0 there, yesterday's as well from 21:37. And then we have a 1.8 at 6:30 this morning. And the 1.8 was, 1.4 kilometers above sea level. So well into the mountain. Some of these other ones are higher as well. This one was 2.5 kilometers up. So fairly a large mountain, of course, that Kilauea. And that's what we see there. And that's kind of it for those ones. And then we have one over here sliding down the hill. 5:04 a.m., 6.7 kilometers down for that 2.0. Looking at Kilauea itself, we do see a bunch of the quakes here, and they have kind of subsided. And I don't know if that has something to do with the recent draining and refilling of our lava pond, but that is what we're seeing now. I like it sliced with eggs and hash browns. Yep, that works pretty well. I like good bacon. Oh, good. Piggy's not here. Anyway, that is, of course, our Kilauea. And a lot of people, though, have been talking about, what's going on with Mauna because of all the activity that we do see up here. And in the future, we'll probably see Mauna erupt at some stage. It would be very interesting once that does happen, and of course we hope nobody is in harm's way if it does erupt. Zooming out a whole bunch, let's take a look around the world real quick and see what we've got for activity. North America real quick, and not seeing a heck of a lot there. Quiet in Central America. Looking South America, we've got a few smaller ones. 4.5, 11:25 today, 66.8 kilometers down, and that is in Chile, same as this, 4.4, 169 kilometers down, 11:48, and this one a little off the coast, 4.4 as well, and that's actually yesterday's at 23:36. So that is on the new side of things. We do have this guy here on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, 5.0. We already kind of covered him. And these ones here on the Rikens Ridge, that goes all the way out. And like I said, there's about 14 new quakes that are above 4.0, but not exceeding 5.0. And looking in the New Zealand area and going around Fiji and Tonga and those areas, we've got a 4.5 from yesterday, 23:41, 98.6 kilometers down. Vanuatu has this guy, 4.4, and that is 10 kilometers down, 6 a.m. Their local time. We're not seeing anything here in the Philippines, Malaysian area, and just Indonesian area, nothing at all, not till we get up in the northern parts of Japan. 4.2 for that guy, 41.1 kilometers down from 8:53 a.m. And then 4.6 here on the Kuril Islands area, and of course subduction zone right there. So that's what we're seeing, 4.6, 7:30 6 a.m. 10 kilometers down, and really nothing major going on anywhere else. Little guy here, Pakistan, 4.2 from yesterday, 1904. I'm not going to worry about that. 10 kilometers down. And is that Turkey? Or yeah, that is 5.3 in Turkey. 8:08 this morning. Actually, there's 3 there, or 4. And let's see, that is 10 kilometers down. 4.4, also 10.2 kilometers down. 10:16 a.m. The other one, 4.0. 8:43 a.m. 10 kilometers down as well. And that last one hiding underneath 4.3 from 8:24 a.m. So if that is happening there, that is probably a result of this guy down here pushing a little bit, or maybe even this guy, and causing the Arabian plate to move up a little bit. But that's about all we see there for earthquakes. And like I said before, we have this batch here on the Reykjanes Ridge, as they call it. From there's Iceland, there's the Reykjanes Ridge going all the way out, and this is right near the end of it. So 13 in total, or sorry, 14 in total for today, and that is what we've got. Moving over to Canary Islands real quick, we're going to see what we've got there. It is refreshing the screen, and we'll see what's happening in the Canary Islands. Latest one, of course, is this guy here, a 1.2, and that happened technically tomorrow, since they're across the international date line. That's 33 minutes after midnight, so a little while ago. But anyway, 9 kilometers down for that guy. Nothing super serious. Looking at this guy here, 2.1 out here in the water, and that is 8 kilometers down for that guy. Happened yesterday at 22:22. Getting into the ones from today. If we see that, we see one on the eastern slopes. That one was 1.0 from 1932. That looks like a surface quake, whereas we had 1.4 here, 2107, 8 kilometers down. And we had this guy here. And these are actually on the 28th already. So just after midnight their time, 24 minutes after midnight, 11 kilometers down, 1.2, and then a 1.4 from 32 minutes after midnight, 10 kilometers down, right on top of the crest of the mountain chain there. So volcano chain, I should say. Pretty awesome. Anyway, that's all we've got for those. Going to refresh this one here. So let's take a look at our volcano map around the world, and we'll go through that real quick, and make that bigger, and slide it over. So on this map, of course, again, they are showing those extra quakes there. They're showing this guy 5.0 in the middle on the mid-Atlantic ridge. There's Astra, and then here we've got Seo George and Tercera on in the Azores. Michael Volcano down here in the South Sandwich Islands, and we're not seeing a heck of a lot of new stuff on our list here. These guys are pretty much all what we normally see. Popocatépetl, of course, showing red. As usual, we don't see anything coming out of Fernandina out here in the Galapagos. Pretty quiet. Taupo, in New Zealand, we don't see anything. I guess they took Ruapehu off of there and put Taupo there. A White Isle volcano is doing its thing as well, continuing as a yellow. 4.9 right there. That was from today at 16:53 their time. Then we see 15 minutes ago 5.0, and they call that New Zealand. but that is kind of in between everything. This is the Kermadec Ridge. This is Fiji. So where do you really point? And that's what they've got there. And of course, Tonga, Tofua, and there's Home Reef, a volcano doing its thing. And we're not seeing anything out here in the American Samoan Islands, and Ta'u is still considered quiet, and that's what we've got. Vanuatu still working, and his buddies, and going over a little bit more. They've changed some of these colors that used to be orange. It's now yellow as well. Kind of weird, but that's okay. I guess if they're not erupting, they're not erupting. Luolatak still there doing its thing. Raun is still there as a yellow, though. Semeru definitely erupting. We watched it. Merapi is continuing to do its thing. Krakatau over here in the western part of Java Island doing its thing. So middle, central Java, East Java is what we've got there. Ibu and Dakono still red hot and doing their thing, going up a little bit more. We don't see a heck of a lot coming out of Mayon and Ta'al sliding up. We've got Suwanoshi-jima up here in the southern Japanese islands, and of course Sakura-jima continuing its thing that it does. And over here, Ibiko and of course Alade doing their thing. Karimsky and Bezimiani and Shivalish pretty normal looking for right now. Zooming out a little bit and going over, and of course Heard Island volcano still doing its thing. We had that picture yesterday of Pitten, and I thought that was a pretty good picture, and we like that. So Pitten out here on well, it's not Pitten Island. What the heck is the name of the island? Boy. Yeah, Reunion Island. That's it. That's the one I was looking for, name-wise. Anyway, that is Reunion Island, active volcano. Anyway, still the same with these guys. Old Dinyo still there. DR Congo volcano still active. Urta Ale right there doing its thing. And Etna still an orange, Volcano yellow, and Stromboli wonderful red. So Stromboli is continuing. And again, Astja looks so lonely there. Astja needs some friends. Anyway, that is Iceland. Okay, for right now, we'll zoom back out. I guess before we get into the weather, I'm going to try to redo that weather map real quick here. I want to see how much further that storm has gotten, and then I'm going to go take a break. Of course, there is Ian, the hurricane that is headed towards the coast up here in Florida. Let's take a look at wind speeds and see what it is. And this thing has picked up some wind speed, and I'm not sure how fast it's moving. We're seeing some 140 kilometer an hour wind speeds, and that is well over 100 miles an hour, I think. No, not quite. But looking at some of them, it is getting awful strong. Here we see 142, so picking up pace. It is definitely getting stronger, you guys. So those people in the path here, and even the ones out here in the Florida Keys, watch yourselves. It is going to be a pretty rough time. If that stuff moves over even a little bit, Florida Keys is going to be in trouble. But it is destined to come up here and hit at this point. Buys Coca-Cola just to be difficult. Oh my God, Irish Monk. Why, thank you. And Irish Monk, thank you very kindly. for that Coca-Cola. And yeah, we'll see. Smoke? No, it's not smoke time. It's a time for a Pepsi break. And I'm gonna get that written down here. Irish monk, 10 euros. There we go. Thank you very kindly, Irish monk. Appreciate that wonderful stuff. Okay, so I'm going to actually zoom that back. I'll put it back on temperature. I will get back to this after the break. So be good, be kind. I'm going to put you back on canned lava, and there it is. It is still pouring out of the can. That is from back in August 4th, and that is what we've got on the screen. For those good people who are here, if you have not yet hit that like button, our target is 100 likes for the show. If anyone hasn't hit that button yet, please help us out. Let's see if we can get it up and over 100. It would really, really be awesome. On that friendly note, thanks everyone. I'm going to be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Keep smiling and don't go away, and we'll have the weather after when I come back. Thanks. Okay, I'm not gonna throw that other tune back on. I'm just gonna get right back at it. That is all good. I will leave that be for right now, and we'll get over to our weather. Gonna pause our canned lava just for a minute or so. I love having the power to be able to stop a volcano mid-eruption. And thank you for the welcome backs from Leo and Andy Morgan and Sue Hayes. And I hear you from Sharon Stewart. And thank you, Oz. Coke break over. No, it's a Pepsi break. Pepsi break. And that is all good. And muchos gracias, Senor Irish Monk. Okay, that is all good. There we go. Had to keep it in Spanish there since he's watching Spanish TV. Anyway, let's get looking at our wonderful weather for today. And I don't know, in some places it's wonderful, other places not so good. Of course, that is North America. I think I'm going to refresh that real quick here. There we go, to get a better idea of where we're at. And of course, here in Edmonton, we had a beautiful, beautiful day today as far as temperatures were concerned. So really, I didn't mind. Anyway, looking up north, Alaska looking pretty cold, and as well as into some of the northern portions of Yukon, mostly cold, and then Northwest Territories, and none of it, definitely, none of it, I really want none of it. It is horribly cold up there, and we don't worry about that. Anyway, looking at what we've got here in Canada, so British Columbia showing some decent warmth yet. Same with all of Alberta, pretty much. Really nice here in Alberta today, and a good portion of Saskatchewan also quite warm. And we are receiving that upward flow from down south. And thank you guys from below the border for sending that warm air this direction. And as we move to the east, we see we've got a big high sitting in Ontario, keeping most of Ontario cold, and even down in the bottom here past Toronto, we're seeing 10, 11 degrees, not very nice. Same thing Montreal coming in at 11, 12, that type of thing. So roughly about the same as Toronto. Moving eastward though, looking at Quebec and Newfoundland, Labrador, Newfoundland itself here. Newfoundland, Labrador colder, and of course we don't see anything left of that low that we had, and that was Fiona, and it's completely vanished for the most part. Looking at New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, that area, looking like a beautiful, beautiful day for them, and getting into the U.S. Western portions fairly warm again, which is really nice for this late in September. And then we see, pardon me, Montana, and not looking too bad. We got a big high sitting, where's that high actually sitting? That is not Utah, that's the Colorado is where that high is. And of course higher elevations, a little cooler, but that is keeping things a little warmer there. Death Valley, and there we see it. Sue brought it up, 41 degrees Celsius in Death Valley, and that is pretty awesome. And good temperatures for California until you get down in the bottom end here. Starts to get really hot. Phoenix, Arizona, 36 degrees Celsius right now. And moving over a little bit, and we see in New Mexico, not so bad. And Texas and Oklahoma sharing some of that warmer air. And down here in Texas at the bottom end, very comfortable day today with 25, 26 degrees. Start to move a little further east though. Things start to cool off up in the northern states. Actually quite cold around the Great Lakes. May I order the rain to stop? Yeah, we can. We'll see what we can do, Irish Monk. That is, it's a tall order, but I'll try. I will. Once we get over there, we'll see what we can do to make it stop for a while. Anyway, looking at the southern states here, kind of regular temperatures, pretty much normal temperatures, are a little cooler than normal, but for this time of year, I consider them normal temperatures through Mississippi and so on, going Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, going up into Virginia. Then it starts to get a little cooler up here. We're seeing up in New York and those places very low teens or single digits even. And the same thing goes for, well, actually Maine isn't too bad, a little bit on the northern sides here, but New Hampshire, that area is still holding a reasonable amount of heat. But of course everybody's talking about Ian, the tornado, or not tornado, hurricane that is headed towards Tampa area, and it will kind of hit most of the state of California. Right now, of course, the Florida Keys are getting those heavy winds right now, as we can see that right there. And I wouldn't want to be in the path of this thing. So that is, I hope they're ready for it, hope they're hunkered down. Anyway, let's continue down here. The warmer areas, of course, would be out here on the Baja and down into Mexico, and not bad there. Higher elevations, a little cooler, and then we get down. Cancun coming in at about 27 degrees right now, not so bad. Looking at other temperatures, a little warmer down in, hang on, what is that one? That's El Salvador. That is Nicaragua. Or hang on, I messed up here. Costa Rica. What is that place? I'll get it. It'll come to mind. Once I get to somewhere else, it'll come to mind. But that's a little warmer, 27, 28 in some places. Again, though, we're noticing higher elevations a lot colder, and that is happening through most of all the areas, really, that we're seeing as of late. So looking here at the Amazon, some pretty nice temperatures yet for early evening. And as we slide down, we see here a little warmer in Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, a little bit better there as well. Still a little bit cool in that bottom portion of Brazil, and that goes into Paraguay and Uruguay as well. In that area, Buenos Aires coming in at about 15 degrees C, and that is about the cutoff point for our warm weather. And then, of course, the Chile side over in Chile, up in the mountains, showing some very cold temps. Down on the bottom here, all the way down, very, very cold as well. And sliding over a bit quicker to New Zealand, North Island, a lot nicer than high here, drawing down some of that wonderful warm air for them. And that is warming things up a little bit. I like seeing that mid to high teens, really good. We're still seeing a lot of cold temperature on the western side of the South Island, and that has probably got some bad rains and stuff there as well. eastern side, though, all the way down to the bottom here, showing some mid to high teens as well. Not bad there at all. Tasmania looking a lot warmer than what it has been in the past, seeing anywhere from 12 to 15 degrees. Really nice, 11 to 15 degrees, so a lot better. Looking also at what we have. You did. Leo brought up Taupo. That would be over here, and 13 degrees Celsius. So that's kind of what we got. Melbourne coming in at 15. The map says otherwise, 14, 15, and I would believe they, somewhere in that ballpark anyway. Adelaide coming in at 13, 14. Perth a lot warmer, up 18, 19 degrees. A lot nicer there. Sydney coming in about 18, 19 as well. Nice to see that. Brisbane sitting at 22 degrees. A lot warmer and like that. And looking at the northern portions here. Let's see what Brisbane. Brisbane 24 degrees. That is pretty nice. Top end of Australia still holding some nice heat, and I'm sure it'll warm up there pretty soon as well. And looking into the everywhere from Papua New Guinea all the way through Malaysia here and into the Philippine area, we see Nauru still there doing its thing, making landfall now, and that is affecting the weather for places like Bangkok and those guys over there. 26, 27 degrees, there we go. 27 degrees C and 84% relative humidity. Next storm is this 97W, probably going to take a similar path. This guy actually took a path northward, and I wasn't sure where it was going to go. Kulap, if I got it right, but that is out a little ways away from Japan, which is probably a good thing and not bad. Sliding up a little more, Kamchatka Peninsula, cold, yeah, and same thing with the Aleutian Islands. We got that low sitting here. That's drawing down all that cold air and messing things up. And of course the low here, which is kind of a beneficial because of that high, the high pulling the warmer air up, and the low is helping redistribute that warmer air. That's probably why we are getting a better warmth there, so not bad. Sliding over into kind of the India area, we see another storm here, Ashley, and I wonder where that's going to go. Likely upward, but I would think it's probably going to go upward like this. We'll see what happens. And looking at Madagascar, a little cool on the eastern side, but western side quite warm. And getting into Africa, South Africa, still a little bit on the cold side down on the bottom around Cape Town. And they are showing 10, 11, 12 degrees in that area. But other stuff still a little on the cool side. Looking at the rest of Africa, though, it is warming up very nicely. We have some higher elevations, of course, that are a little cooler, but not too bad. Looking at Saudi Arabia, definitely cooled off in the northern parts. Same thing with Iraq and those areas, even up here in Turkey, quite cool now. And Iran, still some warmth along the coast, so not too bad. And UAE right there doing 28, 29. Oman still showing some good temperatures as well. So things are changing a little bit there temperature-wise. Even Yemen is still holding some good temperatures in the eastern parts. Looking at the Sahara Desert area, definitely still chugging away, keeping warm, and that is all right. We do see a little bit of cooler stuff in the middle here. Lots of high pressure, so, and that is what's keeping it off. Don't know why it's so darn cold right there. That shouldn't be as cold as it is, but it is on the, it is what it is. Morocco. Anyway, looking at Piggy's temperature, and Piggy, of course, is here in the island of Kos in Greece, showing 23 degrees Celsius. So 13 to go. Dr. Fox needs the love. Bop that thumb, you bet. And thanks, Leo, for bringing up Piggy's temperature. And we'll see what it is. I figured 23 is what it's showing on the map there. Probably very close, 22. Okay, and not a problem. 84% relative humidity. Humidity levels up. That is interesting. Crete is showing on the coastline areas 25, 26 degrees, which is a pretty nice. And Greece, for the most part, not a bad day or well, night. It is nighttime there, so that is what we're seeing. And same thing goes for Sicily, a little cooler than what we've had before. Some places low teens, so not that good, but edges near the waterfronts somewhere around 20, give or take a few degrees. Same thing goes for most of Italy, I think, down on the bottom portions anyway. Getting up to Naples, 20 degrees Celsius in there. Rome coming in at about 17, 18 degrees. And going up, Milano, about 13, 14 degrees. And of course, that is getting close to the Italian Alps up there. Sliding over into our wonderful Spain. Again, the northern portion of Spain looks a lot cooler than the southern part. And we're seeing kind of stable temperatures there in Portugal right now. Going up to France, we see some of the edges here where the Alps come out, and that is a little colder, and along the northern borders a little bit colder, but coming off the water, some beautiful temperatures there. Checking into Germany, a lot cooler, single digits for most of Germany, and that is of course nighttime temperatures, and we know it's going to be turn into winter soon. Looking at Belgium, kind of the same thing as Germany, same as Luxembourg, and most of Holland as well. Even going up here into Denmark, except for up in the top tip here, about 12 degrees. And that's all that warm air being drawn out. Looking at England, Wales, everywhere actually, kind of single digits, and not that good up here in Scotland too. Irish Monkland, he's got all the heat. He's keeping it out there. And he's somewhere around 10, 11 degrees Celsius in Doolin, and maybe even a little higher. So that is what we've got there. Going up a little bit more, looking at what we've got here in Norway. It's I'm not going to say it's warmer than yesterday. That's just more spotty than yesterday. We do have some warmer spots on the coast, but some very cold temperatures in there, low single digits, so not good. Anyway, the same thing with Finland here, and sliding back in. Moscow only 7 degrees. St. Petersburg coming in at 8. Riga is 9, 10. Helsinki a little bit around 10, 11 degrees. Doolin, there we go. Somebody brought it up. And 18 degrees? Are you kidding me? Who brought that up? Did you type in Doolin? No, you got to type in Doolin, comma, Ireland, because there's a Doolin in the U.S., and that'll be the confusion between the two. So make sure you always put in the comma and Ireland behind it. Otherwise, you bring the one up, and I think it's in the eastern states somewhere. Lots of places called Doolin. So anyway, that is what we got. Yep, there you go, Sue. That'll work. And that'll make a little bit of a difference, I bet you, if we take a look at that. There you go, 11 degrees Celsius. And that's kind of right what we were seeing on the map. So, although I think Irish Monk would prefer if it was the other one, Ireland predates Doolin, USA, by a few thousand years. Yeah, only a few thousand, not too many thousands, just one or two or three. Anyway, seeing Reykjanes Peninsula anywhere from about 8 down to 4 or 5 degrees, depending on where you are. Most of Iceland getting back into its winter season, you guys. So winter time is definitely coming, and that is to be expected since it's that time of the year. And when we look at this here, we're starting to see that cold patch, minus 20, 21, 22 in Greenland. Scary stuff. Let's take a look at the precipitation around the world. And again, looking at Alaska, they've got this low here that we talked about that's drawing down all that cold sitting there. Hopefully it's not going to go anywhere. Hopefully it goes back north. We do see some snow up in Alaska and the Yukon, northern portions of Northwest Territories, and none of it has got some rain, snow and rain mixed. Looking at the prairies, nothing out there. Most of BC is clear too. A little bit in Saskatchewan. Moving over into Manitoba, even though it's cloudy and bad weather, still looking at not too bad as far as no rain. Northern portions of Ontario's got that high sitting there, so they're not getting a lot of rain. But when you get to the eastern portions and down on the bottom end here, lake effect style stuff coming down. And that is what we're seeing in the lower portions, and all the way out the St. Lawrence Seaway, where everything, including here in Montreal, and going all the way out into Newfoundland, Labrador, out in that area, and getting some of that. Then we have this whole ridge going along here, and I don't know if this is where Ian is going to follow that path. If it is, it looks like it's raining in Newfoundland again, and possibly Nova Scotia on the west end. There we go. I see some of those extra clouds there, the way everything is circulating. Not looking good, but big storm. That is what everybody is, of course, watching out for, and that should make landfall somewhere around here in between Tampa and Cape Coral. That's what I'm guessing. Looks like even Miami is getting stormed out. So it's a good thing they took that SLS back in and put it back in the hangar. Keep that rocket safe. I'm not seeing a heck of a lot in the western side of the U.S. as far as precipitation. A little bit in northern Arizona, not a heck of a lot, and some here in Colorado, tiny bit in New Mexico, nothing in Texas or most of the other states here, and it's pretty clear, which is really nice. Sliding down into Mexico, we see a bunch of different storms all over the place, Mexico, Central America, and then we get into our northern portions of the Amazon, and of course Colombia and Venezuela doing their thing, and sliding down a little bit more of the open area here of Brazil, not too much, and until we get down to the kind of this bottom area here. So Paraguay's got some of that storm stuff coming in, and then also sitting along the mountains here in Argentina. Looking at the other side, though, we don't see too much in Uruguay and the other portions of lower portions of Argentina. Pretty nice. Chile down on the bottom, very chilly again with all their extra activity, some rain coming in there. Zooming into New Zealand, looks like most of the North Island is dry. Here's that area what I figured was still wet, and it is, and we are seeing on the South Island some nasty rain on the western portions of it. Looking at Tasmania, not too bad today, and then also looking at Melbourne. Is Melbourne got rain right now? I'm just curious. But anyway, we do see that storm sitting right off the coast here, and Canberra and those areas getting some rain. Sydney is looking a little bit drier. Up here in Brisbane, a little bit of rain and a small storm as well, nothing too big. And Perth looks pretty dry. Looks mostly dry up in majority of Australia. A little bit of rain there. It's probably a welcome. Just a bit of rain here, Doc. Okay, so nothing major, because it doesn't look like it's really heavy clouds right there over top of you. That's why I was kind of asking. Thanks, Leo. And looking at out in the wonderful islands, so probably out here in Tonga, they've got that system out there, and then sliding over. And of course, our Malaysian, Philippine areas, we know that Nauru is still there. This new storm here, Ashley, I don't know how powerful that really is, but it is there. And looking at Malaysia here, getting nailed with some more storms as well. So this guy, I don't know how far it's going to go inland, but that could possibly go all the way into Thailand. So I was going to say Taiwan, but that's over here. No, Thailand. And Cambodia, those areas all are going to be affected by that. Sliding up a little bit more, looking at Japan, we do have some rain in Japan, but not as stormy. This Kulap being out in the ocean a little bit more, keeping things not so bad for the island itself. And then here on the Kamchatka Peninsula, not looking so good, and they have got snow and rain and everything else mixed together, and that's kind of what we're seeing. Sliding over a little bit more, India still got some storms there as well. There's that Ashley, I don't know what to do with it. And then here, not so bad in the eastern parts, but western parts, kind of the rainforest areas, definitely getting rain. And looking at Europe, we'll start out here for Greece, because they've got that dry wind blowing up north. Piggy is not going to see any rain for a little while. That's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Looking nothing till you get up to the northern portions here of Turkey, and then again we see just off of the boot here, the top of the boot, between that and Sicily, we see those clouds doing their thing. Not very much rain in Spain, but seeing a lot of rain happening in France, and of course majority of Germany as well. Definitely getting a lot of rain. Looks like Belgium is getting it. Luxembourg is pretty clear right now, which is pretty good. And thanks, Leo, for being here, and take care. Good night to you, or good day to you. I keep forgetting you're starting the day out, and we're getting to the end of ours. So anyway, Holland, coastal areas are doing their thing and not so bad. England, real quick, and not bad. Wales, a little bit of rain. And Doolin, Ireland, possibly getting a little bit of rain, but we see Ireland has got just showers in some places, nothing super, super heavy. And same thing with Scotland up in the top area there, occasional rain showers. And looking here, bottom end of Sweden and Norway, they've got some rain happening there as well. It looks like foggy up in the northern portions of Sweden, and then some rain over in Finland. Not bad. And here's what's happening. We have a snow band going across Iceland, and that is kind of what it is. Iceland. Everybody calls it Iceland. In German is Island. Island. So that is a little bit different, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm just teasing you. It's okay. And of course, Greenland, which should have been called Iceland, and Iceland should have been called Greenland. That's the difference. Yep. So that is pretty much it for the weather for today. We do see our wonderful equatorial storm is starting to redevelop. We do have some storms right along it, 99L here, Newton on this side, and Nauru over there, 97W there. So, and Ashley is a little bit low, but almost on that same band. And that is what we're seeing. And speaking of Newton, I have no idea where that's going to go. That is going to be interesting to see where that takes off to. Let's get back to temperature, and we are going to take a look and see if we can find the coldest temperature on the planet right now. And let's just do a quick scan here to see where we can find stuff. 68 there, and that's not very cold. Minus, by, 71, 71. Are we colder than 71? Let's zoom in a little bit and see if we can find something just a little cooler. No, I only found minus 71 there. What about down here? I don't see it. No, warming up. Okay, I think I'm going to have to settle for a minus 71 degrees Celsius is what I had there, unless there's another spot I missed over here somewhere. That minus 64, no, what's 67? Yeah, I think I'm going to be stuck with a minus 71 degrees Celsius. So, Sue found a minus 73. Sue gets the gold for the cold. So, excellent. So, no worries if you found that. I'm very happy that you got it nailed down there, Sue. That is great, and glad that you got that cold spot. And of course, now I can't even find the other one. But I did have minus 71 on the screen here for a second, so all good. And we are going to leave it at that for today, you guys. So thank you everyone for being here. Really do appreciate it. And Sue Hayes has a local deal with the penguin mafia. Oh my God. Okay, penguin mafia. I didn't really realize there was such a thing, but Irish, you would probably know since you've been around for a while. I'm sure you've seen it all. Yeah, and that the phone attached to there, the Emperor Penguin Mafia. Oh boy, they're emperors yet. this is just too much for me. And all right. Okay, on those friendly notes, you guys, let's stay warm, keep your penguins warm, and please make sure that you bundle them up if you're going to send them out into the cold abyss of our wonderful Antarctic weather there. And on that friendly note, it is time to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for being here today for today's show. I do appreciate it. We're still a little shy as far as getting our likes all the way up to 100, but I'll live with what we got. And thank you kindly, everyone. Be good, be kind, and take care of yourselves. And I want to say a big thank you to our good people like Grandma B, who gifted one membership, Oz, who gifted a membership, Irish Monk for his 3 wonderful super chats, and the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very kindly, Irish Monk, and thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of the good people that are in here, the whole Lava family, whether you're a member or not. The entire Lava family is what really counts. So thank you very much all for being here today. And of course, we do appreciate all of you. Without you, this stream would not exist. So Billy Bob Joe says, thank you, Dr. Fox and mods and sods. Bye-bye and bye bonds. Peace and love. All right, Billy Bob Joe, thank you. And thanks, Sue says, thanks for a great stream today. You're welcome. And good night, Doc, and everyone. And we'll see you lava lovers tomorrow. Excellent stuff. And thank you, everyone, for being here. A big thank you to the moderators, Arizona Snowman, Piggy, C&D Boy, and possibly the ones hiding in the background like Gary, 24/7 AZ, 24/7 Live AZ Skies, and other fine people like that. So glad to have you all on board. And on that friendly note, it is time for me to wrap things up. The big thing that I always ask is, please, please, make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, good night, good day, and oink oink. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.